Yo, what's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and I just watched UFC 319, and that was an incredible card. Like, on paper, it didn't really look like it was gonna be too great, but it actually did end up being really solid, and it capped off with an incredible Fight of the Year type main event. Dustin Poirier taking on Max Holloway for the last time in his last fight. I thought Dustin was gonna win, but unfortunately, he came up short. But Max Holloway, wow, that guy is different. I mean, he was hurting Dustin Poirier like never before. Like, I've never seen Dustin Poirier get hurt like that. Like, yes, he's been knocked out, but like in recent memory, like, you see Dustin take a whole bunch of powerful shots. He's like still there, but like as soon as like Max Holloway started to touch him up in the first round, like he was hurting him. Like I thought Dustin Poirier was gonna go out, but then Dustin was like, nah, I'm not gonna go out that sad in my last fight. And he came back and he showed why he's one of the greatest fighters of all time and the best fighter to never become undisputed champion, even though I do think that he was the undisputed champion in 2021. But yeah, that was an incredible fight. I felt like they were going back and forth. Max felt like he took the first 2 rounds. In the first round, he like scored like he scored 1 knockdown, and then he hurt Dustin really bad. And then I think he dropped Dustin again in round 2. And that looked really bad too. But then Dustin survived. He came back. The crowd like brought him back to life. And then he like drops Max Holloway with a right hook, with a short right hook. And I'm like, what the hell? Because it was so weird. Max Holloway was winning the fight. But then all of a sudden I see him on the floor, and then he gets back up and he I think Dustin goes for a guillotine. If he would have kept punching, I think he could have probably got Max out of there. But we might never know. But then like Max starts to recover, but it was like really crazy because again, we don't really see Max get dropped like that. We did see him hurt in the second Dustin fight. He got knocked out by Ilya, but he actually got dropped here. Like, it was like a more brutal knockdown than the one he had against Justin Gaethje. But then he recovered, and I felt like Dustin took round 3. It was really close, but he was like landing some really nice jabs, and he was landing his left overhand as well quite a bit. And Max was like he wasn't really throwing much. It seemed like he was really just recovering. And then round 4 was a really close round. I scored it for Dustin, but it could have easily gone to Max. And then round 5 clearly went to Max Holloway. Felt like he landed the bigger shots. And then in the last 10 seconds, like, this surprised me. Like, he literally pointed down to the ground and said, don't move. We're gonna fight. If you want to be the BMF, knock me out right here. This is it. Like, toe to toe. Put your foot in the tire. Do not move. And to my surprise, like, Max Holloway, obviously he starts like throwing down. Like, you could see like Max Holloway was like throwing with like some spite. He had like some venomous intent. You could just see in his face. But then Dustin Poirier, like, with all due respect, of course, he's a legend. He didn't want to go out like, face planting like Justin Gaethje, but like he was grabbing onto Max Holloway, like he was clinching. I was like, damn, I really just want to see them throw down, but it is what it is. It's fine. Dustin Poirier, I'm just glad he didn't get like hurt too bad. Like, he did take a lot of damage, but yeah, like, it would have been interesting to see how that last like throwdown would have been. I felt like he could have actually like KO'd Max, but he didn't want to roll the dice and risk it. But Max Holloway was willing to. Like, Max got clipped with a huge right hook. Like, Dustin was like throwing for a little bit. He clipped him with a right hook, and then he saw like Max was not going down, and he was like, nah, like, I'm not gonna do this with you. Because if Dustin would have done that, he might have actually got like put to sleep. And yeah, he just was like, you know what, it's not really worth it. We've had a great fight. Let's just end it well and no one get like finished, make it the distance. And yeah, but overall, yeah, great fight. Like, these are 2 legends. Like, Max Holloway, I feel like he should fight Oliveira next. I think he's gonna destroy Oliveira in November. He called Oliveira. He said, hey, you are lying about like being injured in the first fight. If you want to run them back, let's like see me in November. And I like that energy from Max. Let's get one more fight, and then he can fight Ilya Poirier again. I think Ilya is gonna fight Arman Tsarukyan or Paddy, and Gaethje's just waiting. I feel like you gotta keep fighting, especially now. There's so many contenders at lightweight, and Max Holloway just put himself back in there, and he has a win over Gaethje, so he beats Poirier, Gaethje, and Oliveira. I mean, he has a really strong claim to fight for the title. And as for Dustin, this guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a legend. Like I said, he was the undisputed lightweight champion in 2021. like an absolute dog. He showed a true heart of a fighter in that fight, getting hurt multiple times, but like Dustin Poirier says, we fall but we get up, because the floor is no place for a champion, and he showed that in this fight. Regardless, I don't care what anyone says, he was the undisputed lightweight champion. He was not the best fighter to never win the undisputed title, because he actually had the undisputed title at one point. But yeah, unbelievable fight from both guys. And then in the co-main event, Paulo Costa, who I thought was a Bellator fighter, actually showed up, and he showed that he has some real skill. And wow, I was not expecting that. I thought Costa was going to get beat up because of that performance he had against Marvin Vettori. And I really think low of Marvin Vettori. I think Marvin Vettori is pretty bad. But regardless, Paulo Costa, he showed up and he performed really well against Kopylov. He had some powerful kicks to the body, to the leg in the first round. And his right hand looked really sharp. Like, he was getting his head off the center line really well and clipping Kopylov as Kopylov was coming in. And he was, like, punching the body as well. I mean, that looked like a really good performance from Costa. And what's next for him? I would say do him versus Roman Dolidze. I think that'd be a good fight. Let's see where Costa's at. Can he defend the grappling of Dolidze, and can he put him out? I feel like that's a very winnable fight. And then if he wins that, then maybe you can give him the loser of RDR and Robert Whittaker, or maybe the loser of Jared Kennedy and Michael Gordon Page. And then Daniel Rodriguez beat Kevin Holland, which I did not think was going to happen. I thought Kevin Holland was going to submit him, but he looked great. Like, D-Rod looked great early on. He was hurting Kevin Holland. And in the first round, he was tagging up with some clean shots. And in round 2, I thought he was going to put Kevin Holland out, because he dropped him once and then he hurt him really bad again. He might have dropped him twice. And he was just beating Kevin Holland up. And then round 3, again, D-Rod hurts him. But then Kevin Holland hurts D-Rod real bad. And I'm glad that the referee did not get excited and did not get active and try to, get in the fighter's face and stop the fight and let the fight continue, because both fighters really just showed their heart and their toughness. And yeah, I mean, that was a really good fight. I thought that was very fun. I did not think it was going to go like that, but maybe it's because Kevin Holland was he's already had 4 fights this year. It's only July, so maybe he needs some time off. But as for D-Rod, now that he's in the rankings, I would say maybe you could do him versus Kobe Covington next, or him versus Gilbert Durinho Burns. I feel like that'd be a pretty interesting matchup. But either way, good win from Daniel Rodriguez. And then I think before that, there was Patricio Pitbull versus Danny Gay. I thought Danny Gay was going to win, but he lost. He looked good in round 3, but in rounds 1 and 2, Pitbull just implemented his game plan and was getting takedowns and was outstriking him. And yeah, Pitbull now is in the rankings. I think him versus Josh Emmett will be a good fight, or maybe him against who else is there in the featherweight division? Maybe a Calvin Kattar, who knows? But I think or maybe him versus Giga Chikadze. I think that'd be a good matchup. But yeah, Pitbull looked good in this one. And then Michael Johnson actually beat Daniel Zellhuber, and I actually think that this was the only fight I got correct in my predictions. I thought Michael Johnson was going to knock Daniel Zellhuber out, and then Michael Johnson won by decision. This was a fun fight. Michael Johnson looked good. He looked sharp and he looked fast. And yeah, great win from Michael Johnson. But overall, this was a really solid card. And yeah, that main event was insane, especially in the last 10 seconds, Max Holloway. It's crazy, but that was incredible. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.